Hi, everyone. Welcome back to episode 31 of the Simple Well podcast. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
How we doing, everybody?
Just a couple of best friends who are passionate about all things pop culture. If you're looking for lukewarm takes on movies, video games, TV shows, or even the occasional comic, then we have got the show for you. And I want to point out, I did that without looking, and I almost flubbed it immediately. Did you hear it?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. When I saw your... I don't remember. What was that?
I had to plug my phone in. Yeah, I had to plug my phone in.
Now, so this week, we're going to give our early thoughts on the Andor series on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
As well as, actually, I got to looking at it. We've got a pretty Disney-heavy news segment as well. That's unintentional. It's just kind of also somewhat unavoidable, like in the state of the world, like the industry, where it's like, one is technically Fox, it's 20th Century Studios, but that's Disney now.
You're right.
So, yeah, you just can't get away from it. Uh-oh.
Oh.
I didn't press start on my timer.
Well, I did.
Now.
Jesus Christ.
Just start getting red face. Now,
thank you everybody so much for listening to the podcast. I gotta get off. I gotta take a walk. I gotta get off this mic.
I'm gonna start saying stuff I regret. I'm gonna start saying stuff that's gonna hinder our ability to monetize this thing in the future. I gotta get out of here. Gotta make like a tree and leave. Let's see here. We've got to talk about the big Deadpool 3 news from last week.
Yes.
The next project from Bill Skarsgård and Robert Eggers.
Mm-hmm.
The next Planet of the Apes film.
Oh.
Blade is straight up just losing its director.
Yup.
Armor Wars is no longer happening. And we got a new trailer for Wakanda Forever that actually had a ton of new footage.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I always tell you? If you're ready to jump in, we'll jump in.
Oh, I'm jumping. And I'm in.
Oh, I'm yumping, even.
Some might dare to say humping.
Pardon? Pumping, even?
Yeah, pumping.
Pump? Little pump? IGN, this... Not a sponsor, yeah, no. Little Pump does not pay us to say his name. IGN has reported that... sorry, I say they've reported. I looked at what they had to say about the Deadpool trailer, but really, it's not much. So, the day before last week's episode went out, that motherfucker Ryan Reynolds posted to his social media a, quote, trailer, I said, for Deadpool 3 that had just a bunch of blatant, like, product placement for his own ventures. Like, Aviation Gin, and then he's wearing a hat that has the football club that he and Rob McElhenney own together from Always Sunny. And, so Ryan basically, he's going on this big tangent talking about how, like, you know, Deadpool's introduction to the MCU has to be perfect. It has to be this, has to balance this and that and the tact and all that, right? And he's like, what I came up with was nothing. You know, like I drew a blank, big fucking blank. But I did have one idea. And then just in the background, it looks like it's maybe at his house, you know?
Yeah.
And in the background, you see Hugh Jackman walking past, and he just goes, "Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine again?" And Hugh just, like, super nonchalant is like, "Shit." And then keeps stomping up the stairs.
I remember I showed you that video, and you thought it was fake. You didn't think it was real.
Well, because I was like, I don't know, man. Because I could definitely see Ryan Reynolds posting that shit. But also, there's been a bunch of people speculating that, like, maybe it's a power move by Ryan Reynolds because, like, none of the major Marvel accounts, like Marvel Studios or Kevin Feige or MCU or any of that, like on Twitter or anything, have, like, liked the tweets, retweeted them or anything like that. But if you go there, it's, like, all about She-Hulk and, you know, Werewolf by Night and things like that. So it's like, why would they not promote that?
Right.
So maybe it's not official yet, and they're kind of just blowing the horn to get fans all riled up.
Which could be a very Ryan Reynolds things to do.
Forcing the hand. I mean, he's all but said that he's the one that leaked the Deadpool test footage that got Deadpool made. So yeah, it would be right up his avenue to do some shit like that.
But I
don't really think that's the case, but I do think it's odd that Marvel hasn't really interacted with that post on social media.
I don't know. So it got me all riled up. It made me super excited. Because they did say
bricked.
It got me so like it's a 2x4 now. But they did say in the very beginning, they're like, Logan still happened, like we're not fucking with that. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And then, they went into some spiel.
Yeah, because then they posted another video like the day later, kind of elaborating that.
Yeah.
And like getting ready to tell what it was, and then they just start playing. Oh God, what song do they play over them talking? It was it "My Heart Will Go On" by?
It could have been.
Celine Dion.
I honestly don't remember.
Son of a bitch. No, but yeah. So I'm excited. Obviously, I would love to see Hugh Jackman back. Hugh Jackman. And I like that because I saw people being like, "I bet it's about Deadpool getting Hugh Jackman, the actor, and dragging him along." And I was like, I mean, maybe that'd be funny, but I don't know that I want a whole movie of that.
Yeah.
Plus, he does expressly ask him, "Do you want to play Wolverine again?"
Yeah.
And then people have been pointing out how in the ending of Deadpool 2, and like the end credits, where he's jumping through all the timelines and killing people.
Yeah.
He straight up tells Wolverine from Wolverine Origins, like, one of these days, your old buddy Ryan's going to come. He's going to ask you to pick up the claws again. And he's like, answer that call, And so it's like, oh my God, he did it,
So I could see them like throwing in like a punchline or two making that reference. I don't think they'd milk on that alone.
No. But I do just like the continuity that, my God, he did it. The mad lad,
You son of a bitch, you did it.
He did it. Yeah, they blew it up!
No, I'm excited.
Oh, dude. Robert Eggers, our buddy Rob, who made The Northman. His next project, a remake of the black and white vampire flick Nosferatu, is apparently a passion project of his. It's been in some stage of production for him for I think since 2017. And before that, it was in some stage of production with other directors at other studios and things like that. And when those all finally fell through, apparently Robert Eggers was on it like stink on shit. And he's like, that's me. I've got to do it.
All I can think of is from fucking SpongeBob.
SpongeBob? Nosferatu!
Yeah. Then who's been flickering the lights? Nosferatu.
But no, for those that don't know, other than, obviously there's the SpongeBob reference, but for those that don't know, Nosferatu is a gothic tale of obsession between this young woman in 19th century Germany and just an ancient Transylvanian vampire that stalks her and kind of just wreaks havoc on her village in Germany.
I mean,
and
it's Tuesday.
So Eggers is going to write, produce, and direct the horror remake, with Bill Skarsgård set to portray the infamous titular vampire. And Lily Rose Depp, who's kind of been in a few big projects for HBO here lately, is in talks to portray the lead role of said young woman.
Do you think they're going to try to make twist it a little bit and make it try to be really scary?
Well, to be fair, the original was intended to be really scary. It's just, true. To us, it's not because it's so quaint. But I will say, my dad, who's not really he doesn't get scared by movies. Apparently, as a kid, he saw that movie, and it fucked him up subconsciously till today. He's like, I still struggle to sleep with the covers not up over my neck, And it's that stuff where when a 5-year-old sees something, it can really imprint you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I keeping you awake?
No, on my staycation, baby, I party all night long.
No, you didn't.
No, I know. I'm
fucking went to bed at 11. Fucking maybe midnight.
I woke up, went to the gym, came back, and then went right back to bed.
Until 3 in the afternoon.
You're goddamn right. Moving on.
No. Do you think no moving on? I run this shit.
Do you think they're gonna make it modern time or keep it back in the 19th century?
No, I think it'll be 19th century.
Good, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, no, I mean Robert Eggers loves a good period piece. Has he done a modern movie?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
I don't think he has.
So nothing that stood out when we reviewed
the Northman. Yeah, I mean, you figure The Lighthouse, The Northman, which I gotta go to his IMDb now, though. I'm curious.
Which I don't think you have to do a modern movie to be a good director.
No, absolutely
that's
not.
not the
No,
case at all. I was just curious if there's any intentions with modernizing it, because I don't think it should be. I think it should be still set in the 19th century. That would be a better film, in my opinion.
No, yeah, looking at his IMDb, it does not look like he's ever done a modern setting, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's somebody who loves that, just a period piece. But let me pull my writing back up here. Actually, I want to open up the Hollywood Reporter that I kind of referenced here. They had a fact that I did not know about Nosferatu. So apparently the Nosferatu film was an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And Stoker's family actually won a court case, and all copies of the movies were ordered to be destroyed, but some prints survived, which is how we've got it now. And that's what's kind of made it like a cult classic.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that it was like, that it had been, like, that it was unauthorized and they had to sue and all that.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Like, that is not a fact that is anywhere in Chris's purview.
You didn't question it at first. It's like, oh, he's not going to question. I'll just roll with it. And then you're like, you didn't know that. Like, no, I didn't.
So I almost immediately questioned it, but I was like, nah, that seems really mean to like immediately be like, don't even fucking lie. You dunce, you didn't know that. And so I was like, I ran with it. And you're like, yeah. You said it like it was just common knowledge. I'm like, no, you didn't know that shit.
No.
But I just thought that was kind of interesting that like, the movie's not even supposed to exist. They were like, yeah, you got to burn it all. But here we are. Yeah. It's in fucking SpongeBob,
Art lives on, baby.
Yeah, life finds a way. Let's see here. Keep rolling right along. This is coming from Variety. So 20th Century Studios revealed some concept art, which I'm going to try and drop in the chat for you, because they are pretty interesting. Let me find you here. Well, would you just look?
I've just come to the realization I have ripped my trousers.
Are they a pair that you care about?
Well, a little bit.
I apologize.
What are you gonna do?
My condolences, sir.
When you're busting like biscuits.
Just a can of biscuits. Busting out the bitch.
I know. What are you gonna do, baby?
with hands like these, Let's see here. Copy. Image. Are you ready? Paste image.
I've been ready. No.
Just Ralph.
Let's see here.
I'd say it's like the smallest photo ever.
Yeah. That looks really cool, though.
I know.
How it looks like all the buildings are overgrown.
Like super decrepit and overgrown, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. I'll read you the little write-up I did. There's not a lot of info, so it's kind of a brief one. I really love the trilogy that they did.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to get more of that. So it is. It's entitled "Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes," as you can see in the photo there. And the film is set to star Freya Allan, who. So I'm a little bit of a I don't know what you want to call me, a leper, I suppose. I haven't seen The Witcher on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably pretty good, but I haven't watched it. But Freya Allan is apparently best known, like that's one of her major roles is she plays Princess Cirilla in The Witcher. And she's being joined by Owen Teague and Peter Macon. And it's going to be directed by the Maze Runner trilogy director, Wes Ball. And it is said that it's going to take place several years after the conclusion of War for the Planet of the Apes, which I could see just from the environment that they've got drawn up there.
Yeah.
So, did you finish War for the Planet of the Apes? Because I know that we watched it together, and I don't know if we got to finish it.
I think we did, because spoiler alert, but I mean it's been out for a while.
Yeah,
because we think Caesar dies, but he doesn't.
No, he does.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. So you're thinking of the second one, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, and then no, because Oba throws a spear at him, doesn't he? And like impales him right through the chest.
Koba straight shoots him with a fucking rifle.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
then they kill Koba and launch him down the.
Yeah, he drops Koba. Yeah, because Koba's like, ape, no kill ape, and he's just like, you're no ape, and just kicks his ass down the fucking construction site that then explodes at the bottom.
Yeah, that was hot.
Goddamn. That boy's done. No, War for the Planet of the Apes is the one with... He is well done. War for the Planet of the Apes is the one with Woody Harrelson, and he's like the the general.
Yeah.
And like half the apes get him, well, more than half the apes get basically arrested. And they're all like war prisoners there at the camp. And Caesar goes in trying to break them out.
Yeah, I remember it, but I'm trying to think how it ended.
Caesar dies. And they find some...
Does the son take over?
Well, so you don't really know. Basically, they leave the camp, I guess. They leave the area entirely. Because there's more humans coming that are like... The general called them in, or was... There was another army, I think is what it is. Yeah, so basically the humans are getting ready to kill each other off at this point. Which seems very correct. And the apes dip out before that happens and make it to some farther away land where they can kind of chill and be happy. And Caesar just dies sitting against a tree all happy, seeing his people having made it somewhere safe.
No, I don't think I've seen that one then.
My apologies.
No, it's not your fault. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My dad and I did a double feature with that and Dunkirk.
I heard Dunkirk was mid.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It was good, but it's not one that I'm like, I gotta watch that shit again. I might watch scenes from it again, but I wouldn't sit down and watch the whole movie.
1917 was banging.
Banger.
Yeah,
Nothing but
welcome back to Gas or Pass.
Gas. When he has to go over the top and is running through artillery fire in the full charge. Oh my god. I watched that during like COVID shopping. I was working retail and I'd had a very long day and I was very tired and very stressed, and I came home and watched that with Morgan and I wept. And I don't know why. Did
you relate to him after a long day? You just felt like you've been nonstop running.
My experience as a retail worker is unmistakably
you're
just like that of a World War I soldier.
You're running down the aisle holding 2 packages of TP, trying to make it to the front while everyone's reaching for you, trying to grab you and get you.
Yeah. I get knocked over. I just roll, get up, keep running. Yeah, no. Full disclosure, no, I don't think it's comparable to being a World War I veteran. Let's see. Yeah, the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Blade director Bassam Tariq has stepped away from that role within the project.
Do you think he'd be able to qualify for the Wounded Warrior project?
Me? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, from that experience.
I mean, I was getting hero pay, They said it, I was a hero. No, the exit comes as a surprise, as the project was set to begin production next month, like November.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit short notice to be like, I'm not the director now. Yeah. According to THR's sources close to the project, Tariq is staying on as an executive producer for the film. And he himself, Tariq, did make an official statement announcing the move, stating, "It's been an honor working with the wonderful folks at Marvel. We were able to put together a killer cast and crew, eager to see where the next director takes the film." Now, I do know that there was some speculation that apparently Kevin Feige, I almost said Kevin Feige, what a fucking loser I am. No, right. Kevin Feige maybe didn't like the script at all, like didn't like what we had rolling, and like there was only 2 action scenes, and they were kind of lackluster, and it was only like 90 pages, which basically translates to a 90-minute movie.
Sure.
Which is pretty brisk for a movie in general now, but especially a Marvel movie.
I would say I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, because I mean, shit, TV episodes run about 45 to an hour long now.
Yeah, and so it would be odd to see a 90-minute. And if there's you've got to introduce vampires. There's a lot to do with the Blade character that it's like, what, 90 minutes? And so, there's a lot of back talk that, like, maybe it was not a mutual decision, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Mahershala Ali, who's going to play Blade, isn't necessarily happy with the process so far. He thinks it's been taking too long, it's kind of a messy process, and he's not excited. But you figure he's kind of like a prestigious, like, Oscar actor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if this whole very mechanized, like, just what's the line from Epic Rap Battles? The assembly line whimsy,
Yeah.
just cranking out a superhero movie. He might not like it. It might take the shine off it for him. But there's probably a paycheck in it for him. So.
Oh, you imagine it's Marvel.
And I do wonder if there's some underlying issues that are kind of coming to the surface, because Tariq is definitely not the first director to step away from a Marvel film in like the more recent projects. You figure Scott Derrickson was supposed to be the director for Doctor Strange 2, and he left citing creative differences. And then John Watts dropped out of the Fantastic Four film.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I wonder if if there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. Maybe and then you're hearing about some of the visual effects artists that are getting crunched and things like that. I do just wonder if the timeline of projects might be causing issues. They might be overdoing it or too ambitious.
One of the biggest things I will say that I do see where, and I'm not like a neckbeard or nothing, but I will be like, that's a valid point, is a lot of the visual effects from like some of the other movies, like some of the earlier Avengers, compared to like, Bruce Banner in Endgame when he was in the Hulk Buster.
Yeah.
And then some of the CGI in like She-Hulk, and then there's one for like Doctor Strange,
been
like
kind
the
of hit or
third
miss.
Yeah, and it is, and the whole thing was about like, do you think they're crunching them on time?
Oh yeah,
and
that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, and that was the whole banter, is that they're just pushing out whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they got.
And apparently that's been. I remember reading something. I don't want to misspeak, so don't take this as like a quote. But apparently, I remember reading something that Kevin Feige had basically made a comment that he was okay with like basically okay visual effects, because that wasn't like his main priority. It was the project itself, as far as the writing and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes and no, because when you start having really fantastical characters, visual effects have to be pretty on point if you want to have us suspend disbelief.
Right.
And so, yeah, I do think there is a weird tightrope where, also, you don't want to, if there's only so many dollars to go around, I'd rather you spend more dollars on writing than you do visual effects. But what if it's an okay Marvel story? Yeah, you've got shit tons of money. And what if the story's just okay, and then the visual effects are just okay?
Right.
Then it's like, okay, well, where's the money going then?
And I also don't think, like, for the ones that they pointed out, like, especially in Multiverse of Madness, and it could have just been the clip, I don't know, but like with the third eye opening.
Yeah, the third eye was definitely wonky. Felt very pasted on.
Yeah. And
so it looks like a TikTok filter.
Like, yeah, I just don't understand what the big hubbub, like, it doesn't have to be the best, but like,
no,
you could do better than that. Like, come on.
Yeah, come on, you're Marvel. You can. I don't know, man. I do think that I would be willing to have less projects if the projects were better.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think that's an unfair trade to offer or accept.
Like, that's what I've been saying about like games that keep getting delayed all this time. Is like, I'm okay with the delay if it means it's going to be
benefits. Good. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah. So this is a really short one too, because there's not a ton of info. I just thought it was interesting. Marvel's Armor Wars series at Disney Plus is scrapped, sort of, because it's now being reworked into a feature-length film starring Don Cheadle.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder. I don't know if there's any good or bad news to take away from that. I would argue that. So I wonder, because you figure if the shows are like, 6 episodes long, 38 to 45 minutes long per episode, you're looking at, roughly 3 to 4 hours, right, of content. And so I do wonder, like, was there just not enough content to fill? Or do they think, oh yeah, this one will make money? I would assume that's their thought process, or maybe it got too expensive, and so now they're like, well, we got to make this a full-length feature and get more money back for it.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean,
or if just story-wise that they think it's it ties in enough that they want a large audience to see it. I wonder how much of it will run into something like Secret Wars or
That's true.
Kang Dynasty, things like that. And they're like, okay, well, you can't rely on the entire audience, the whole audience of Kang Dynasty, right, to watch a show on Netflix or on Disney Plus. So maybe they want it to be a wide release so that more people see it. I don't know.
I almost want to say and I mean, yeah, you bring a really good point of like wanting it to be bigger. Like, how much is how much it's going to entangle with
You're
other
right.
films and stuff. So that makes a lot of sense. And I was gonna say, like, hopefully at least, what if it's like, okay, we don't need to have all these episodes, we can condense it into a film.
Right, yeah, I would think that the writing would be tighter
Yeah.
because you don't have fluff in there to make 6 episodes.
Which is cool with me.
Yeah, me too. And I am interested to see how it fares story-wise, only because it apparently takes like it takes off right after Secret Invasion, which comes out early part of next year. Yeah. And I do wonder how much of the what's the release window? We don't have a slate or a date set for the film, so I do wonder when it's going to come out. Like, or do they have with them already planning a television production? I wonder how much, I don't know what the process is of when they make a series versus like, AMC making a series.
Right.
How different is the production? So is it just a natural, oh, well, we're just going to edit this into a movie as opposed to editing it into episodes? Or I would think they would have to rewrite the thing because you write TV differently than you write a movie. Where you write it episodically to have a start, middle, and end per episode. Now it's just a start, middle, and end for the whole film.
For the whole thing.
So, I don't know. I wonder how much it's going to set it back, if any. Or if they kind of maybe knew that this was going to do. I don't know. It's just a weird move to see. I'd rather see something get upgraded, I guess, to a movie than get downgraded to a series.
That's true.
And I did mean to mention, I forgot to write it in here, talking about Blade. Blade is set to come out next November.
Ooh.
And it's supposed to produce this November, and it does not have a director at the moment. So, I wonder, and they run a pretty tight timeline, of like the chronology of things. So I do wonder how much it's going to push anything back, or I guess it all just depends on how much it ties into the other projects.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing here before we get into Andor is today, actually, the 3rd. Yeah. A Black Panther trailer came out, Wakanda Forever, like the official trailer is what they're calling it, and it had a ton of new footage.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised because I feel like a lot of times it's kind of a 50-50 split on like, oh yeah, I saw a lot of this in the first trailer,
and then they'll throw in some new stuff,
new stuff to make you go, oh, that's new shiny. But I felt like this was pretty. There
was a
pretty
lot
heavily, yeah. So we got to see like fucking. What do you call him? Namor doing some double jumping. You saw that shit?
Yeah.
And yeah, we just got to see him flying with his little foot wings, and it managed to not look goofy.
Which you were talking about, how he's a mutant.
Yeah. So we got another mutant other than Kamala Khan.
Yeah, joining the MCU.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Do you think that's gonna tie into Deadpool coming into the MCU?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, yeah, so it depends on how much. So, Deadpool, let me get my nerd glasses on. I may have done this shtick before, but so the comics have basically like two versions of mutation. So, there are mutants and there are mutates. So, Deadpool is a mutate and Wolverine is a mutant. So, a mutant is just born with an alternate, with an altered gene. They have the X gene. And that's what causes whatever their mutation is. Right. And then a mutate is somebody who has something happen to them that triggers a change or alters their DNA. So, like, Spider-Man is probably the most famous mutate.
Yeah, because he gets
bit by the spider and it changes DNA, and now he's a Spider-Man. And so I wonder. So, like, Deadpool's a mutate. I don't know how, like, what the weird, like, what do you count as canon for Wolverine? I guess it'll depend on how they integrate him. So it's like, okay, we've got, we had Patrick Stewart reprise his role as, Professor X. was that Professor X? I mean, I would assume he's a mutant. You know, he had his telepathy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got at least 3, because we don't really know how Wolverine will play in. So we've got Kamala Khan, who's normally an Inhuman, but in this she's a mutant, and then old Patty Stewart and Namor. So we also got to see quite a bit of Ironheart. I say quite a bit of, more than we have,
dude. Yeah,
I saw you chub up with her armor.
Just that scene where you see like the boots start to have the engines on the bottom and she's starting to fly.
Yeah,
but it just looked super cool because she had someone like it looked like on the shoulders that popped out.
Yeah,
and
it was
like,
kind of chunky.
Oh.
It looks kind of bulky. I bet she kind of slims it down as she learns.
I think it just looks fucking dope.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of. I mean, she would have to, because it is supposed to be, she's sort of Tony Stark-esque insofar as like she's making it herself. Yeah,
right.
Or like a Peter Parker. She's a kid genius who's like, I could make my own armor.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she's gonna. I think we talked about this. I wonder if she'll pop up in Armor Wars at all. With Armor Wars being about that technology getting into the hands of the wrong people. And then she's getting her own series. So yeah, we saw a really good look at the new suit for a female Black Panther, who we think is
Shuri. Shuri, Jesus. I keep thinking it's Yuri because.
Yeah. Can't say it.
No.
Shuri. Yeah, Shuri. Yep. And like in the posters and stuff that they released, she's pretty front and center, and so I do think that she's going to be the one under the mask there. But I did see some people wondering if there's going to be more than one person wearing the armor,
which I'd be cool with.
Yeah,
I think I said this
before. Okoye.
Yeah, that'd be hot.
She there was a couple. There's that one scene in the trailer that you were like, oh, of just between the music and the way it's cut and edited, and a few of the Dora Milaje fucking up some guards or soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot. We see quite a bit of. What's his name? M'Baku.
Yes.
And so I don't really. I think the trailer did a good job of not really telling us what the story's about,
but giving us a lot more.
Like intrigue, I suppose. We're like, okay, so there's M'Baku, and it does appear to be full out war and the Atlanteans, but we're not really sure what the motivation behind that is, and all that good stuff. And it is set to be the longest Phase 4 movie. It's going to be 2 hours and 41 minutes, and it's also
shit.
Yeah, that also makes it the longest non-Avengers film in the MCU.
Nice, good for them.
But I mean, they have a lot to talk about. You're introducing, Namor and the Atlanteans, and you've got to deal with Chadwick Boseman's death, and then they're writing that in as the death of T'Challa. So you got to deal with T'Challa passing, and then the succession and all that. Yeah, so there's a lot to break down, and that's all that we know. There might be more scenes or once we get into the movie, and I don't know how much of it plays into the bigger world, or if it's going to be pretty self-contained. I figure Black Panther itself was a pretty self-contained film.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, you didn't see Black Panther? Oh, shit, now this is going to make sense to you. You know what I mean?
I'm just super excited, even though it's going to be a longer film, but like you were saying, it does have a lot to tie in. My hopes are very up for it just because the first one was so good with all the trailers and even the soundtrack that they're dropping on it. It's just, I'm getting pumped. I feel like no matter what,
I'm jazzed, and I meant to look it up before we started. I wonder if Kendrick Lamar is doing the soundtrack again, like curating the soundtrack.
I feel like he's got to. I mean, you can't just drop a banging soundtrack.
Let's see. I bet I'm not going to find many results in an image search. So it sounds like it, yeah.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, Black Panther. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I was reading just a headline. Yeah, that's it. So it sounds like it, yeah.
Good. Ugh.
Yes. Yeah, because that. Yeah, and I mean, you figure they use his song "All Right" in the first trailer, the teaser trailer. But yeah, I'm super pumped. I think it's going to be good, and I've got a lot of high hopes because some of the last few Phase 4 films haven't necessarily tickled my pickle.
Yeah.
Where they've been good, but not like, oh fuck.
Here.
And so I do hope that like this will kind of reignite some of that passion for me.
Absolutely.
All right, baby. You want to talk about Andor?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're only 4 episodes in. I don't want to do like a major deep dive. I figure we'll do this episode like this, and then in the future we'll just do like mini-sodes to kind of cap it off.
Yeah.
We might, when the next season comes out next year, we might do like an episode about the premiere and all that.
Yeah.
But hold on, my headset is beeping in my ear. I gotta plug it in here.
Oh god.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Come on, baby, work with me.
We're supposed
Breathe,
to be
damn you!
Breathe, darn you! This is supposed to be
I can't hear you.
a
Hold on, I can see
professional.
you lighting up, but I can't hear you yet. Oh, now talk at me.
This is supposed to be a professional environment.
Listen, bitch. I don't need to. Oh, is there a mauling happening downstairs?
It might be.
Well, glad it's not me. Let's see here.
Well, I never.
Well, I never. So I figure the way we do it, we just kind of want to do like a super in-depth running through each episode, things like that. Yeah. We'll just kind of do surface level discussion, and then just keep rolling right along. So, we've got 4 episodes out. I do like the introduction in that first episode, where it's kind of dark and gritty looking, and you're on like it's raining, and he's in like literally a brothel.
Yeah.
Like you were like, that's kind of cool. Like that's pretty adult.
Yeah, because I was just like, I wasn't expecting to see this in a Disney Star Wars film,
right?
Or TV show.
And just straight up, it opens. Yeah, him looking for his sister. Or at least that's what he says.
Yeah.
In a brothel, and it sounds like he hasn't seen her for like maybe since he was 10. Right. And there's a couple of officers that are kind of harassing him inside the brothel, and he just dips. And they follow him and keep on picking on him. And he kind of is just like trying to wiggle his way out of it through like, roughing him up a little bit. And he accidentally kills one of them.
Chokes him out.
Well, does he choke him out? No, I thought he headbutted him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he headbutts him and like must have like broken his nose or something up into his brain, or just given him, maybe when he fell and hit his head, he killed him. But that is something in a lot of those like fight videos and stuff that always bothers me. Is I'm like, oh my god, when their head bounces off the concrete, that can just kill somebody. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to accidentally kill someone, and he does. Easy. He kills this officer. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's easy. It's even easier to hide the body.
Settle down.
It's something long and tasty. Settle down. But no, he does. He kills one of the officers. The other dude is like, oh my god, you killed him. And I did like how that dynamic kind of settles in, where Cassian kind of looks at that officer like, did you just say I killed him? Mm-hmm. And you see that officer kind of run through the gambit of emotions of like, oh wait, no, wait a minute. I'm not going to tell on you. Like,
right.
He fell, he slipped in the rain, he hit his head, it was an accident, and in the middle of him pleading, Cassian just brains him with a fucking blaster.
Domes him.
Very aggressive. I was like, whoa. Like, that's hardcore. And, we get to introduce some of his friends that he, he's walking around doing his due diligence of like, hey, I was with you last night, right?
Yeah.
And his friend's like, Jesus, like, who's going to be asking? He's like, listen, I can't tell you that. I just need you to say, I was with you. Here's the story. And, oh, damn, my headset's still beeping at me. What the hell?
Jesus.
Listen. All right, I think we're rocking here.
All right.
I swear to God. He goes to his friend who, like, runs it looks like maybe a junkyard, and, basically, he's asking her to get him in touch with a black market dealer because he's gotten some his hands on a Star Path unit, which is like an Imperial navigator, and it's pretty valuable. And so she's
worth
like, yeah,
some good coin,
worth some cheddar. So she's like, yeah, you got it, baby boy. And she's trying to hide her connection with Cassian, and her boyfriend is kind of like, what's going on here? She's trying to do some stuff, and her boyfriend's very like, I don't like what's going on here, and he's either suspicious of Cassian from like a criminal standpoint, or just like, hey, don't be smoothing up on my girl. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of got that vibe that he was just threatened by him.
Yeah.
And I did like the chief inspector and like the head of security, where like the chief inspector's like, oh my god, the these two officers were killed or whatever, and he's like, the leader's like, yeah, I don't think we should really do too much digging on that.
Yeah.
And kind of, I liked the dirty, but like, yeah, it makes sense. Where he's like, all right, so you're telling me that there were two officers at a brothel that they shouldn't be in, spending way more money than they should have, in a section, at a time that they're not supposed to be doing that while they're on duty, right? And sounds to me like maybe they, we don't want to talk about what they were doing, so we're just gonna brush it under the rug, and talks about like the weird immoral balance that he's doing of like, all right, we'll put out a press release. They were doing something heroic, but not too heroic. We don't want to have to make too much of a stink about them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll say like they were stopping a mug
under the rug. Right.
Yeah, we're gonna brush it under the rug. They'll be honored, but not too honored. And and that lead inspector or whatever does not like that answer, and leads his own little crusade, I guess, where he's gonna find out the motherfucker that did it. And
fault on him.
What's that?
I said fault on him.
That's right. Yeah, he fucks up. We did also get a little bit of a flashback to Cassian's, like, his tribe on Canary, where they're like, there's a crashed ship, which I didn't catch. I'm trying to read here if it says, was that ship, did you catch, was that a Republic ship, or was it an Imperial ship?
It looked like a Republic ship.
That's what I thought. But I don't know if they ever said it. But yeah, it did look Republic. So I was trying to just get an idea of how old Cassian is. Excuse me.
I mean, I'd say maybe 30s.
That's what I was thinking, like early 30s.
Yeah.
And so if it's been like 15 years, he would have been like early teens when the Empire took over.
Yeah.
But you got his his friend Bix, who her boyfriend is like, they put out an APB for Cassian Andor, and he's like, or for somebody from that planet, right? And her boyfriend's like, Cassian Andor, he's from that fucking planet, and he's trying to steal my girl, so
smooth up on her.
He's trying to smooth up on my lady, so he's like, yeah, I got your guy right here. And so then they just full on issue like an APB for Cassian, and he's trying to figure out how to dip, and shit's getting pretty hot. And his fucking adoptive mother is like, well, you fucking knucklehead, what did you do?
Yeah.
And
he's like,
I don't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Me? Trouble?
And he's trying to line all his, get all his ducks in a row so he can get the hell off the planet. Because, shit's starting to pop off around him.
Right.
And so he goes and he, like, schedules a flight with somebody, and it's like, I can have your money in, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours, if you've got that fucking engine running. And so then he's going to go meet his buyer for that unit, that Star Path unit.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes and he meets him at an abandoned factory, and it's in Stellan Skarsgård. Tell you what, them Skarsgård guys, they are everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's like 19 of them, but
they're like bunnies.
Yes, Stellan is a breeder. He's like a racehorse. He is a prized racehorse, just siring so many sons. So he, Stellan is he's very much like early resistance, and he's like or rebellion, and he's kind of trying to make the deal go down, but he's creeping Cassian right the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, he knows way too much about Cassian. And Cassian's like, who the fuck are you? You know? He's like, I know a lot about you. I know people, but I want to know, like, you personally, you know? He's basically offering him a job as the fucking cops are closing in on Cassian's location. And the fucking city just ends up turning into an open, like, war zone.
Anarchy.
Yeah, where once the cops start rolling through, they all start ringing the wind chimes, basically.
Yeah.
And that was kind of neat. We're like...
freaking them out.
Yeah, the cops are like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And they're all alerting everybody, and... Yeah, fucking... the character's name is Ferrex, I believe. No. Ferrex is the planet. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, Rael is the Skarsgård guy. Stellan. So Rael's like... trying to get him to join the resistance, and he's like, I don't know about rebellion, but I'm gonna leave with you because you just blew up the door and saved my skin some.
Yeah.
And so they get out of there and are fighting their way through the city, and there's a really cool bit when like the cops are kind of posted up. They're gonna have to come through here. We got them, right? Mm-hmm. And then
they send
all the chimes stop.
Oh, dude. It was getting heated.
Yeah, like they're like, oh god, what's going on? You know, and that made him even more nervous than the sound itself. Was now the sound stopped? Fuck, what happens after it stops? You know, feels like it should mean something, right? And that poor fucking lead inspector gets caught by Cassian and Rael, and is like, shit. And he looked like he wanted to cry. I kind of felt like bad, but not. You know?
Nah, this guy's a chode.
Because he seems like a fucking nerd. He's the guy that, like, reminds the teacher that homework is due.
Yep.
Aren't
you going to check like, homework or pages 46 through 52?
Yeah, Miss Stevens, you going to collect the homework? And everybody's like, motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
That's this guy.
He's a Boy Scout.
And so he tells them, like, yeah, there's like 14 guys or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and take care of this then. And they stack a car up with explosives and just ride it off on the truck and stuff. And then they all walk up to check it out, and he detonates it, and they ride off on a fucking speeder. And it's like, suck it, losers.
Yeah,
and now hit him with like the double birds, you know. And that inspector looks very much like he just wants to walk off a fucking house. Like he doesn't want to do this anymore. He's pretty bummed out because he knows he's screwed because he tore up half the fucking city to not catch the guys. And like that's the best part is everything that his supervisor told him would happen is happening.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you should have just listened. Like, is this were those two officers, you know, worth all this trouble? I don't think they were, you know.
And then once
the Empire catches wind, because they're like they're not Empire, they're some corporate, they're a company's security force that are operating. Well, so they're operating under permission, right, from the Empire. Mm-hmm. It'd be kind of like a subsidiary company, I guess. And because of this fuck up, the Empire just comes in and is like, "You're all just fully Imperial now, and you guys don't have a job anymore. We'll handle it from here." And so again, it's like, way to fuck everybody else, you loser.
Way to screw the pooch.
Yeah, but I did kind of like that like weird boardroom at the beginning of the fourth episode.
Oh yeah,
like all the intelligence agents, I guess, for the Empire, and whoever the boss was not taking any shit, was he?
Mm-mm.
Like that one guy is kind of like bumbling and making excuses, and he basically is like, "Yeah, you're fired." Like he doesn't. Yeah. He's basically, I'm gonna have you stop talking because you don't have a job anymore. So get out of my fucking sight. And everybody's just head down, you know.
I also wanted to talk about bumping it back just a sec.
Yeah.
Cassian's friend when she gets handcuffed to the wall.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, her boy toy, just gets shot.
Yeah, just gets got right in the chest, and he just slumps over next to her.
Dude, but like that was a pretty intense scene. Like I was like,
yeah.
It's very dark and gritty for Disney, and it's an interesting and cool take. I like.
Yeah, I do like. I mean, we even kind of talked about it when we saw the trailer. That it does feel, so far it's felt that way. Of like, this is like nitty gritty on the ground.
Yeah.
These are just regular people, and what kinds of things have to happen to these people to make them want to rise up? You know what I mean? And it's like, so yeah, you do have to show how oppressive the Empire is to make them, justified in wanting to rebel.
Yeah.
Because we've only ever seen the rebellion after it's fully formed. Well, yeah, the Empire's bad. They've got, Darth Vader. But most people don't know who Darth Vader even is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, what makes the average citizen go, enough is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's shit like that, being handcuffed to the wall and watching your boyfriend get shot.
Mm.
And I thought the fourth episode was good but weird, where it felt like it was the episode I think that felt the most like, tune in next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the fourth episode is the one where he meets the other rebels and is like kind of forced into a job basically by Rail.
Yeah.
And Cassian's going by Clem with the rebels, so that way he
going under like a fake name and
and there's some. They're going into an Imperial garrison. I don't remember what all they're after. I don't know that they even said specifically, but that they're after, like, they're just going to the garrison to get some materials potentially, or it's a key Imperial supply hub. So I think they're just wanting to like blow it up.
Yeah.
Or either just take it over.
I thought they were taking it.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're taking the whole garrison because they're talking about getting away. You know what I mean?
We'll find out next week on.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know. But, so, I mean, that was kind of neat seeing him. I did feel like they kind of drug out we don't like a newcomer, you know?
A little bit.
But the part of the episode that I thought was the most interesting was seeing Rail go in undercover to Coruscant as an art dealer. And he's, like, meeting with Mon Mothma and talking about, like, the fact that they are... Mon Mothma's already in opposition to the Empire, but is keeping her role as a senator. And some of that, the troubles that she's up against. And, like seeing her home life where her husband, whoever he works with, are very opposed to her. And, he's trying to throw a house party and shit. And you can just see that, like, I don't even think her husband knows that she's kind of starting a rebellion.
Right.
And so it's like, how close to home is this thing that, her husband might potentially be somebody that she's rebelling against. And I did like that idea of, like, if it's going to be a civil war, you figure the quote or the line, whatever, from the American Civil War is like, brother versus brother. So yeah, I bet there are families that are split on, like, well, we kind of benefit from being a part of the Empire.
Right, but if it's not the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it does very much end on, like, a note of, like I said, next week. They're getting ready. Have that read by the end of the night. We're going to go take the place to, next week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so the implication is next week we'll get to see them attack that garrison. Overall, and the other thing that I wanted to think about was the that inspector who really screwed the pooch and got everybody fired. You see him, does he go to Coruscant? Or do we not know where he went to? I think he was leaving, but we don't know where he was to.
He went to his mom's house. I know that because we see him go see his mother.
Oh yeah, because she opens the door and he's like, "Mother," and then she just smacks the piss out of him.
Yeah.
And the fucking neighbor across the street's like, "Oh." I
thought that he was getting sent to jail.
You think so?
But like he went to go see his mom before his court date.
Maybe. Because I wonder what they're going to do with his character. Like, is he going to try and seek out, like, individual revenge against Cassian Andor and just be like a thorn in the side? Or is his interaction with the Empire now going to, like, galvanize him and make him be against the Empire? He's kind of a wild card right now because he's obviously a brown-noser, do-gooder kind of guy who's been scorned for doing the right thing,
Yeah.
And so I do wonder what that does.
Maybe he'll have a realization that they're not doing the right thing just to begin with.
Right, exactly. Yeah, following orders doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the right thing.
That'd be.
But
overall, I don't know. I don't like the guy.
I can see you lighting up, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hold on. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, now I can hear you.
No, I was just gonna say I don't like that guy. I hope that his character's done.
Yeah, you think so?
Go to jail. Go to jail.
Get fucked.
Yeah, Boy Scout. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
But
I'm an idiot.
no, I like the show. Man, I think it's good. I'm excited to see what's to come of it for the rest of the season.
Figured out why my headset kept being still.
Why is
I
that?
didn't have the USB end plugged in, so it was
There you go.
plugged in but not charging.
There it is.
That'll do it every time. But
yeah, so far overwhelming. I would say so far I'm overwhelmed with the show.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to expect going in, but yeah, I mean, from the trailers we had the rough idea. I think that the only thought I had was, as far as a negative, but I can see the positive of it, is so far it feels a little slow, but we know for a fact that we're getting 24 episodes. So it's different from like Obi-Wan starting kind of slow. When you've only got 6 episodes, there shouldn't be any slow episodes. You know what I mean? Whereas this is like easing you into everything, and we know we're going to get 24 altogether.
Yeah, it can be a slow burn, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, overwhelmed.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Chris, you got a cryptid for me, baby?
Welcome back to Chris's Cryptid Corner. I'm your host, Chris. This fucking week, we're going to be talking about the Hudson River ghost ships. You fucking heard me. So buckle in, baby. So, obviously the Hudson River in New York. Because I was thinking what I wanted to do. Oh, because, what originally started is I wanted to do a cryptid about, like, trees. Because there's a big meme going around with the tree with the face on it. And so I wanted to do something with trees, but I just couldn't find any. So if you guys have any good ones, definitely send them in the email. But then, so I was just looking around, I was like, well, what sounds good? And this one caught my eye. And it's, it's about the Hudson River ghost ships. So basically, what was going on is, 1940s, 1946 is when it officially started. Basically, they put a bunch of 180 ships to be exact. Let me find the ships that they used.
80?
Correct. Yeah, they had. So it was a lack of merchant vessels that they used to transport supplies and soldiers to Europe during World War II. Right, but then after World War II ended, they were just kind of like, well, we got all these fucking ships waiting here. What do we do with them?
Just chilling.
Right, so they put them in the Hudson River, and they called them Liberty ships. And Congress kind of voted to stockpile the ships. They kind of used them for storage and stuff like that, but they would also keep people off of. Correct, yes, exactly that. Did you read this thing? How'd you know? But no, they would also have soldiers up on there throughout the night to make sure that there are no trespassers or anything like that. And apparently there's been a lot of trespassers. Like, people went on there all the fucking time. But during the Korean War, about 130 were pressed into service. So, I mean, that's the majority of them gone.
Right, yeah, there's not in the Hudson anymore.
And so when that happened, the 40 that were left, that they marked to be left behind, like they're strictly just to stay there, and 3B remained ship-shape. I'm quoting here from, let's see, Sergeant Cora Gesson Boyle, to keep it ship-shape, sanding the rust off, spraying the exteriors with a protective coat of oil, as well as remaining an 86-member crew to ensure that, keeping people off of it, everything like that.
Right, it can be somewhat protected.
But rumor has it that there were people on the ship that snuck on.
Like stowaways?
People who snuck on, got past, and then, they started living there or something, which would make sense, like homeless people. Right, yeah. It's a good idea, live on the boat. And they get shipped off, right? And what do? You're in the Korean War, and you're bugging out with the New York accent. You're coming up, and you're like, "Anybody got some coffee?" Oh fuck! Where the fuck are we?
Whoops. Yeah, accidentally joined the army.
But and so rumor has it that some of the spirits that the ghosts were on, from either the dead sailors or the homeless people or trespassers, say to roam those remaining ships, and I'm not sure if they're still up. Yeah, it says in August of 1970, the government planned its phase out on they called it the Ghost Fleet after a while because of all the rumors.
Right.
So it looks like they took them out and put them in museums all across the United States. That's all that remains of the Ghost Fleet are 2 anchors angled on the boulder of Tompkins Cove.
So Tompkins Cove.
Tompkins Cove is, I believe, still in New York. It should be next to the Hudson River.
Yeah, Tompkins Cove.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah. But I mean, I just thought that was interesting to, bunch of New York homeless people
just accidentally getting shipped off to Korea in the Navy. Oh, fuck.
Like that alone is what caught my eye, and just imagine some guy, fingerless gloves and all, stumbling out, and he's like, "Oh, hey, tell Reggie that he parties way too hard. I need to get myself a cup of coffee." He walked upstairs, he goes, "Where the fuck are we? I'm heading to 4th Street."
Yeah, it's just
he's on a different continent.
It is a war zone.
And he just slept that entire time. Reggie partied too hard. Telling him I'm running to get a coffee. But no, I just thought that was super fucking funny and interesting, and I'm curious to learn more about what happened to those people, but there's no information about it.
Let me see. There's a ship. Queen Mary? Yeah. I think the Queen Mary is the one in California. It's docked in California, and it's supposed to be just incredibly haunted.
You know where I'd really like to go? I really want to go to Alcatraz.
Oh yeah?
Dude, that'd be so much fun. I'd be a little bitch. I know I would. I know I would. I don't do good with scary things, but I love doing them.
Yeah, so I'm reading. Yeah, the Queen Mary is supposed to be super haunted.
I got your Queen Mary.
Pardon? You'll have to excuse the crinkling. I'm eating this baby who can't get popcorn.
Popcorn.
Hey, you smell popcorn? you just fart. That's the trick popcorn? You got. Hey, you smell popcorn? Everybody takes a big sniff. That's some dad shit right there. Just do a silent fart. You guys smell popcorn? Well, I like the Ghost Fleet.
No, yeah, I thought super.
I do want to know what's going on with them homeless people.
Yeah, I gotta do something. I gotta do more with that. But also, I know it's spooky season, so we got
I was gonna
3 more episodes for the month.
Yeah, so let's see. So next week we're gonna. I mean, not to give the whole thing away, but next week we're gonna do Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next week after that is, but the last week of the month, the episode will come out on the 26th. That'll be the one where we talk about scary stories and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan is super into true crime and stuff like that, so maybe she's been hounded. Maybe we do a trio for the spooky one.
We'll talk about that off the mic.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be on the record for that one. She's in, I'm out.
Yeah, it's just how it works. It's the beginning of the end for me. I can see it now.
Cracks are forming and they've become quite wide.
No, but yeah, really that's all I had about the ghost ships from the Hudson River. But yeah, if you definitely have any cryptids, definitely, like I said, shoot them. Especially tree ones. I'm really wanting to get a tree one maybe in this next week. Send them in. Yeah, tree, like Tree, like the plant.
Word.
Because the meme's going around. Have you seen the meme with the tree and the face on it? And it's like me after 15 White Claws deep. Someone stopped me from driving to the tree outside. It's a not funny meme, but it's very funny. And so it inspired me to do something.
Part of what makes it funny.
Exactly. But I wanted to do something tree themed, and I just couldn't find anything besides the carnivorous plant. But I already did that one.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I already I beat it to the punchline. But yeah, if you guys have any good ones, definitely send them to the email. It's simplywellmailbag@gmail.com.
Maybe we rebrand your corner slightly and just make it Chris's Creepy Corner. Or are you afraid that speaks on you?
That's the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever heard.
What makes it creepy? It's the fact that it's just in that corner. Over there speaking in a low growl,
We're on all fours.
No, it's your corner. What you think about, kid?
Cryptids could range, so I mean, we can keep it cryptid corner. So I mean, we can just talk about creepy things. Chris's creepy encrypted corner. Boom, like that's it. Fucking patent pending.
That's a trademark, not a patent. You didn't invent something.
I invented the corner.
I invented the corner. just thousands of years of human architecture. They've never made a corner.
Then, unbeknownst to them,
Chris
I
arrived.
was lurking. Yeah, I was lurking. No, I started my staycation.
Yeah.
Right, and that shit's been the bee's knees. But I plan on getting a lot of shit done, actually. Like, this is coming up here in a couple days. I was
gonna say, it could have fooled me.
Ooh. I'm gonna take my computer up and get that fixed, and then just do some other running around. And I don't know, my tonsils are getting real big, so I gotta get that looked at, I guess.
All swole up.
Yeah, so I guess I gotta get that looked at.
So you got a couple of fucking cuties back there, like the oranges.
Yeah. Oh, but I touched base back on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
No.
Not impressed. Like, I finished, I think the official first mission.
Word.
And, I don't know. Well, it's only the beginning of the game. So I played it. I'm as the street kid?
Yeah.
So I'm playing as the street kid, and I hit the point where Jackie just died. Right, that mission just finished up. You go talk to that guy. I can't remember his name. He always has the cigar.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
He's basically like a kingpin.
Right.
And then he betrays you. He beats the fuck out of you because you know too much, or you basically, it explains the whole mission. But
no.
And then you wake up and you're still alive or something like that.
Yeah, you're barely alive.
And then the next mission starts or whatever. And I was just kind of like, all right, I'm done. That's fine. I don't know. It's just not doing it for me, I guess.
So you haven't even seen Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silver?
I have. I played a little bit of that, seeing him. It looks like he was a band. He was in a band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he hops in the helicopter with that lady who I chose to be very flirtatious with. Just because I think it'd be funny to see Keanu Reeves be flirtatious.
Just have a very just long sex scene with Johnny Silver.
That's right.
But so how do you have that meeting with Keanu Reeves? So in this game, you're gonna play a character, and we're gonna show full penetration.
Mm-hmm. You cool with that?
And he's like, I mean, do I have to mocap it? And they're like, no.
No, we got it. You're hung.
Yeah, don't worry, we got you.
Right.
We're thinking 7 inches. 9?
9.
13.
13.
It's just,
Jesus Christ.
It is a baby's leg. It's just.
Ew.
What's the line from Austin Powers? Looks like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Yeah.
2 eggs and a hanky.
But other than that, no, I haven't been thinking about a whole lot. I've been taking a break.
I was gonna say, been too busy sleeping.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow, I'm excited. I'm gonna go see, throughout this week. I'm gonna go see some buds that I haven't gotten to see in a while, and I'm excited for that.
And social butterfly, Brendan Banks.
Mm-hmm. But we're just all keeping it low key. The only thing I know is the last day of my vacation, I'm gonna go with a bunch of buddies, and we're gonna go bar crawling. But I gotta work the next day. But I don't work until 11:30. But then I work a short day, and then I'm off the next 2 days. So I'm like, man, if I can just push through that, I'll be good. I'll be Gucci Mane.
Scoochie.
But what about you? What have you been thinking about? Enough about me.
That's right. Hey, you said it, not me.
That's right.
I don't know, man. Like real depressed. Like that's always my gut check, but like you can't joke about that. So even though that's mostly Gen Z humor.
I don't know, man. It's just not doing it for me anymore. Whoa.
What do you mean? It's like that meme I sent you of the kid sucking on that milkshake. It's when you're driving down the road and when your friend's driving you down the road at 110 miles. Says, I just don't know about things anymore, man. That kid's just got big eyes like pardon. Now, Phasmophobia, man, we've been playing the shit out of it.
Yeah, we have been playing that. It's been fun. It's been spooky as shit.
Yeah, we played a couple nights ago for the first time with one of our buddies, and we've played it. I think he must have played it more than us, but also he acts like he hasn't played it, so I don't know.
I don't know, but you caught me in the couple matches we played with him. You caught me actually scared because I walked in and then I walked out and I was silent. And you're like, "Yeah, you're spooked out, aren't you?" I was like,
"I got you."
I was like, "Yeah."
I got you spooked. Yeah, I like using
it got me good.
I like being the a bold one, because it doesn't spook me too much until it does,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, I walk into the building, lights off, yelling, "What's up, fucker?" And I just pull out the spirit box, which is like the radio that you can talk to the dead with. Because for people that don't know, Phasmophobia is a game basically ghost hunters, and you're trying to investigate different haunted locations, houses, cabins, there's a campsite, a high school, a prison, an asylum. And the asylum is like the big update to this one. It's not a new map, but they've completely redone a map, so it's basically a new map now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty creepy the way they've redone it. But
it's hella scary, dude.
I like some of the evidence collection, because after a certain amount of time, the ghost starts becoming actively aggressive towards you, and like when it starts what's called hunting, it shuts the door to the house. You can't get out, and you just have to kind of turn off all your electronics, and otherwise it's going to get you,
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny because all your electronics start flickering and the lights are going. You can hear the ghost making noise, and everybody just gets silent because also it uses your microphone, so you've got to be quiet as a church mouse. Just everybody goes dead silent and just walks away, trying to find a hiding spot, and then you just eventually the lights stop flickering. And you go, "Is everybody alive?"
Yeah, who's all still here?
Who's still here? And like one person doesn't answer, and you're like,
"Fuck, man!" And then you got to go take a picture of the body.
Yeah, very morbid. You're like, "All right, where's Billy at? We got to get the camera."
Yeah. Say cheese. Chink.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do like the spirit box, which, like I said, it's like the radio where I'll be like, how old are you? Did you die here? Is this your home? And it's like it'll give you an X if there's no answer, and then it'll light up with like a little ghost symbol, and you'll hear something through the radio if it's actively engaging you through the spirit box. And the creepiest one I have, I'm by myself. The ghost only responds to people who are alone, and I ask it, are you here with me? And it just in a creepy, like demonic voice goes, "Behind you." And I was like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here." And I turned around real quick in game because I'm like, I swear to God, if it is, I'm turning the computer off. But it was not, luckily, but I still got the fuck out of there. But yeah, so we've been playing Phasmophobia quite a bit. It's been spooking us. I'm still playing Valhalla. I actually really enjoy it. I've made it to England now, and it's like we're building our own town, I guess, our own village. And I kind of like that aspect of it, where you raid monasteries and stuff along the river to get supplies. You come back and you upgrade your town. And then I also really enjoy the idea different, like all the different kingdoms and areas of England, because it is in like 867, I think. And so it's at a point in time where like England has 4 major like kingdoms on it. And so it's not just one big united area. And so you're traveling around, meeting different Danes and stuff, and trying to form alliances. And like we've met up with Sons of Ragnar, which if anybody's watched the show Vikings, I'm pretty sure Ragnar is one of the main characters in that.
I smoked pot with Ragnar.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, so it's been pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. I want to keep playing it. I'm like, yeah. It makes me want to buy the some of the expansions and DLC stuff, like the Siege of Paris and things like that. It is a very beautiful game too, landscape wise. But yeah, and the only thing I've been thinking about is I need to catch up on Dragon. I'm like 4 episodes behind now.
Yeah, that's the show I still need to I watched a little bit of the first episode, but I need to catch up on.
Yeah, because like, I don't know. We record on Sundays typically. The last few weeks we haven't been, but generally we do. And so then it's always like, well, I guess I'll watch it tomorrow. And then I don't. And then the next week rolls around and say, well, I can't watch it. I haven't watched it. And it just piles up on you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to have to sit down and just power through all that.
That's the thing. That's why it's so hard to get caught up on, especially like ongoing.
Yeah.
It's like just trying to play catch up on it.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. And then like, you feel like you have to spend all your time on one show, and then the other show you fall behind on. And it's just, yeah, it stacks up. Like, I still have not finished Better Call Saul.
Neither have I.
I haven't even started The Boys.
Yeah, you need to.
I know. Like, that was like 6 episodes ago that we were like, here's what we're going to do. But
I keep seeing stuff about Saul that I think a bit of it got spoiled for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Better Call Saul. And,
well, don't tell me, because I haven't.
No, yeah. Dude, you see Walt and Jesse actually have sex. Like,
it's aggressive.
It's a whole thing.
And the bottom is not the one you would expect.
Jesse.
What is that? I was going to say.
We need to have sex.
Jesse, you want to fuck?
Put your dick away,
Put your dick
Walter.
away, Walter.
I'm not having sex with you right now, Walter.
No. Again, we want to thank you guys so much for your attention and support. I'm choking on popcorn. If you guys enjoyed this episode... Stop it. If you... Cut it out. If you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a great review. Tell your friends. Share us on social media. Word of mouth is a huge helper right now. Also, if you are listening to us on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're hearing this, make sure that you subscribe it, like it, follow it, whatever their terminology is, so that you get notified when we post episodes, especially when we start doing the Andor specials and things like that. Make sure that everybody knows what's good.
Yeah, we're starting to get to the lore, baby.
That's right. If this is your first episode, welcome. If this is your 31st episode, sucker.
Thank you. Yes, sucker.
Got him. Chris, if people want to get in touch with us, give us some feedback, ask us questions, tell us all their dirty little secrets.
I want to hear secrets. Of course, you can always reach out. You can look us up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at Simply Whelmed Podcast. You can always reach out to us via Twitter. Our Twitter handle is whelmed_simply. And of course, our email is simplywhelmedmailbag@gmail.com.
That's right. So like we mentioned earlier, next week we're going to present Werewolf by Night, which releases this Friday the 7th. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with it. The director said that he got away with quite a bit of gore and horror. Like he said he put a bunch in there because he was never told no. And apparently he was under the impression that he must be making like a TVMA movie because nobody told him to stop, But then I think similar to with it being black and white, I think you do get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Because you figure Night of the Living Dead from the 60s is the same way. It was filmed in black and white, which was the only way that they were legally allowed to show all they did.
Which means fine by me.
Yeah. And I do like that they're going for like a 30s or 40s horror film. And we kind of talked about that we're not sure how much it's going to play in, but apparently Feige, he said that it will actually play a not insignificant role in the future of the MCU. So I'm kind of interested to see how obvious that is in the moment, or if it only is going to be hindsight that, that's because of Werewolf by Night.
Mm-hmm.
But, so it should be interesting. I'm just excited to see. It looks very stylized, which is exciting to me. Of it just being something different. And I want to see how far they lean into because, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be like a horror film, and it was not,
No. It had like this cheesy camera but that's about it.
Yeah. And so I want to see something actually. Because also, that's allegedly one of the reasons Scott Derrickson left, because he wasn't allowed to add more horror. Because was it last week that we talked about Sinister?
Yeah.
That's Scott Derrickson. Scott Derrickson made Sinister, and he made the first Doctor Strange and was working on the second one. And allegedly, they were talking to be, a horror movie and all that. And then he left, citing creative differences, that like he wasn't allowed to make it as scary as he wanted. So I do wonder how far this will go. But I'm excited to see what they do with it. So
yeah,
that's the end of the show, Chris. Tell you goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's how we open it.
We just open it with about 25 seconds of Gangsta's Paradise to avoid copyright. We got to come in right under the radar. No, on the real though, I'm kind of mad sad.
I know, man. R.I.P. Coolio.
We've been spending most of our
lives
living in an Amish paradise. Oh wait,
wrong.
Sorry. R.I.P. Coolio.
R.I.P. Coolio. Amish paradise gone too soon. Good ones die young.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah, it is.